Hello and welcome into another pregame live. What is going on? Matt O'Leary hanging out with you before Jets Vikings. I am amped up for some Jets football, meaningful December football games. How about it? We finally get to a point in time where there is meaningful football games. Please remember that you could join the channel. Well, first subscribe so you could enter in the chat. Number two is you could join the channel and support. Hit the join button down below to become a member. And then number three, super chats jump the line. Also, we have a couple other exciting things. We wanted to look at Elijah Moore, his Mojo stock. He is up 4.99, almost 5% this week after scoring his first touchdown of the season. Obviously, there's a little bit of a connection with Elijah Moore and Mike White. So if you're interested in getting his Mojo stock, that link is down below in the description. You could sign up for Mojo and trade if you wish. Elijah Moore is our profile today. He is selling or priced at 1180 right now, which is up almost 5% over the last week. So very exciting stuff there. Let's hop into this one. We got to go through and talk about inactives as well. That's a big one. We'll go through your comments and questions and concerns. So for the New York Jets, here's a look at your inactive. Zach Wilson, inactive. It is Mike White with Joe Flacco backing up. Jeff Smith, inactive. Jeremy Ruckert, inactive. Michael Carter, Ashton Davis, and Bryce Hall. Really no surprise Michael Carter's inactive. I would expect to see a heavy dose of Bam Knight, James Robinson, and Ty Johnson. As for Jeremy Ruckert, not really surprising. He hasn't played a whole lot this year. Michael Carter was going into the game doubtful, or into today doubtful. So I wasn't really anticipating him to play this one. And I think the Jets offense will get by just fine there. And then last, we got to take a look. This is the big one for the Minnesota Vikings. We'll pull them up right now. They're inactives. Christian Darrisaw, their starting offensive tackle. He will not be playing in this game. Look for that to have a major impact on the defensive line. So let's open it up for this one. Matt Curtis, he's a member of the channel, says, I am stoked for this one. Let's go. Jets, 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 Jets. There we go, baby. David Conklin, any relation to Tyler Conklin? Says, happy football Sunday, Matt. Kirk's going to feel the pressure today, and JJ isn't breaking 100 yards against our boys on the outside. Jets are going to look real good at 8-4 after today's game. LFG. Yes. I would love for the Jets to get to 8-4. I think they have a really good chance to do that. I predicted a 24-20 Jets win over the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be a tough game, though. I don't want anyone to overlook the Vikings at 9-2. Are they an elite level team on the same planet as some of these other high level teams in the NFL? I would say probably not. Their 9-2 records a tad bit fraudulent, but this is still a good football team. Even if they were 7-4, that's a good football team. Matthew, I love this one. He says, Mims touchdown today. I'm calling it. I predicted that as well in my preview video. I'm all in on that. I think he gets a touchdown. I believe I had Garrett Wilson scoring a touchdown today as well. TJ Decker asks, how are we feeling, Matt? I'm feeling pretty good. I am feeling pretty good about this one. I think the New York Jets get the dub. I am rocking the number 17 Garrett Wilson jersey. I know it's green. I know the Jets, for whatever reason, refuse to wear green. It's a road game, so I don't really put them on this one. But are we ever going to see them at home in green? It doesn't feel that way. It's a big one. Artist formerly known as In the Jets says, why does this game feel like the Pats games? We know we are better, but will we show it? Good question. Maybe it's because there's like optimism, and both times the Jets played the Patriots going into the game, I think there was a ton of optimism. The Jets and their fans, myself included, expected them to win the game. So maybe that's the comparison. If they get good quarterback play, I think they should win. Maybe that could be the difference in this one from the last couple of times. Go Michigan Wolverines. Oh, we got a little Michigan versus Ohio State action. Rusty Rangers, what he said earlier, or Rusty Rages, talking Rangers, excuse me, said, let's go Jets, and also time for Ohio State to back their way into the playoffs. OH. So we got a little rivalry going in the chat. I love it. J Boy says, man, this one has me on the edge. I'm pumped up. I think all Jet fans are pumped up, ready to go. huge test, right? We talked about meaningful December football for how long now? The goal was to get to the point where you would have meaningful December football games, and that's exactly where the Jets are right now. Heading into early December, what is it, December 4th? David says, "No relation." LOL, but he's still my family. Yes, sir. I love it. Oh man, that would be great. I think Tyler Conklin, I think, has a pretty nice day against his former team. I'm going for the revenge factor angle. I like it. I like James says, "I'm not a Jets fan, but I love Garrett Wilson. I'm actually a Seahawks fan. Fuck Jamal Adams." Hashtag one love. Okay, so it seems like that even Seahawks fans are a little tired of his antics. I believe me, I get it. He's an extremely frustrating player to root for. Is he good? Of course, but he's just a little annoying. I think is a fair way to put it. Yeah, Jay Boy, he asked, is Mims still without a touchdown? Yes, he has not scored a touchdown yet in his NFL career. He is long overdue. This is the week. It is happening. A red zone. I'm going to say a fade route to Denzel Mims. I agree with little J here, or little JA. Oh, wait. 8-4 has a really nice ring to it. Amen. Thank you, TJ. He says, I appreciate you doing the pregame shows. Yeah, I like it. I think it's fun. We have a few people who stream live during the game as Jets content creators. I will be on with Ryan and Green Bean on Green Bean's channel at the half. Always come on and talk football over there. So if you're interested in, content during the game, head over there to Green Beans. And, a lot of people do post game shows. And I think it's a good idea, but I just feel like there's so many and that not a ton of people do pregame stuff. So I figured I'll do the pregame stuff. I'll let other people have the postgame live streams. I'll still pull it out my postgame video. You can watch it after the fact. But I really like doing the pregame shows. It's fun. I agree here. Brother Nam 61 says, I think today's the day we see what we have in Mike White. Yeah, the next two games are really big tests, right? Minnesota Vikings. Now, defensively, this isn't a team that's really great defensively. So theoretically, on paper, he should be able to, perform well, but this is a quality opponent. And obviously, Buffalo on the road in Buffalo against that defense is an incredibly tough ask. We'll see how it's two really big tests, and we'll see how legit he is. I saw a comment this morning from a Vikes fan saying the Jets have won their last game of the season. Please kill this fraudulent team. I don't buy that. The Jets aren't beating like even worst case scenario, right? You don't think the Jets could beat the Lions or Jaguars at home? I don't know. I'm not there. Tyler says if we win today and beat Buffalo next week, do you stick with Mike White the rest of the season no matter what? Uh, Unless there's an injury, probably. It depends on how he plays as well. I'm assuming if you're winning both these weeks, he probably plays pretty well. So then that's probably going to be the case, Tyler. I would assume yes. Sauce pick number 3, Scott Wilson asks. Yeah, I think Kirk Cousins gets picked off once today. I'll say he throws for a touchdown and gets picked off once. Milton says it feels damn good to be in December playing meaningful games and having a good chance to beat a 9-2 team. Let's go. Nick H, yes, I did. He asked Matt, did you see the story about the Jets possibly moving back to Queens? Yeah, we had a video on it. I don't think it's very likely. I personally would like it. It would be a lot better than having to be at MetLife Stadium, but I don't know how likely that is. We'll see. I could be wrong. Ragnar says, of course, I want Mike White to ball out and want Jets to go deep in the playoff runs. I also want to see Zach Humbledon come back way better. Maybe we don't see that this season. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I really have a hard time predicting what's going to happen with the Jets quarterback situation. I think if Mike White plays well, he'll continue to get this going, but I don't know. This season's been so bizarre for the New York Jets and it changes. It seems like, the NFL and everything changes on a week to week basis. Who knows what's going to happen? I think you just play it on a out week to week, see what happens. White keeps playing well, you keep playing him. V-Man, hey, Matt, how delusional are Pats fans think they could get Brady back and replace Bill with Peyton? I've seen the narrative of Brady potentially going back there, but Sean Payton, I have not seen that one. That is pretty delusional. Illegal Beast Mode says I could see Bam and Brees as our RB1 and 2 next year. I don't think Michael Carter's going anywhere. I think it's still going to be. And look, maybe Brees isn't ready to go at the beginning of the year, and it's Michael Carter and Bam 1-2 for a little bit. But I don't anticipating seeing Michael Carter going anywhere right now. Oh, Mr. Pickle Pants, Jets 41, Vikings 17. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring. I hope it is, but there's a pretty optimistic side of things. Not a must win, but would go a long way in ending that playoff drought. I agree. It's hard for me to say that this one's a must win game. But it would be really nice to get up to 8-4. Interesting. Next home game, they should wear green on black. Okay. So the black pants, but with the green top. I wonder how that would look. Scott Wilson asks, who's getting the Pepsi Rookie of the Week belt this week? Maybe Jermaine's got to get one eventually. Maybe he has a 2-sack day and we can get him there. Joe S says this is the first time the Jets faced an elite offense. I can't say that I agree with that. I would classify Buffalo and Cincinnati as two pretty high-powered offenses. Let's see. Yeah, I would classify both those teams as pretty good offenses. But do they have? I'm going to pull it up. Scoring offense. We'll do points per game. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Sorry, talking through this. I'm going to pull it up right here on the screen so we can look at it together. Points per game. Buffalo is second. Cincinnati is 5. Minnesota is 12 in terms of points per game. Yeah, obviously Miami we can't include because they were on a backup quarterback, but I would absolutely say that Buffalo and Cincinnati are high level, high octane offenses. So I can't agree with this one, Joe S. Do you think we make the playoffs? Absolutely. I think the Jets make the playoffs. I think they win 10 or 11 games and are a playoff team. I saw this one too from Joe S. Niners want Jimmy G back. Yeah, it's hard to blame him. He played really good football for them, and they just continue to win games whenever he starts. So it stinks. Kind of probably would have liked him with the Jets. He knows the system very well. Could be a nice 1-2 punch with, going to camp in a battle potentially with either White or Wilson, but that might be unlikely. My score prediction is 28-23 Jets. I agree. I think it's going to be a Jets victory. I think it's going to be a tight one, somewhere in the 20s. So I think that's a good take. Does Mike White have to throw for more yards than Mac Jones for the Jets to win? I guess, are you talking about in the game where against Minnesota a couple weeks ago? I don't think so. I think the Jets can win if he throws for like 250 yards. That is true. They have not only in the preseason. They wore green in the preseason a couple of times. They have not in the regular season. Jets chaos. That sounds lovely. He's going with the garlic parm wings. Go Jets. That gets the Matt O'Leary stamp of approval. I will see you at halftime. If you guys need somewhere to go during the game, check out Jets chaos and Green Bean over on Green Bean's channel. Miami, Buffalo, Bengals, Ravens, all pretty good offenses. Yeah, I didn't even think about the Ravens. Where are they though? I feel like they're relatively. Oh no, Baltimore is 8th. Okay, yeah, completely forgot about Baltimore. Did you see some of the Jets? What's up, Hennessy? He says, did you see the Mike White t-shirts and the hockey jerseys? I loved the the jerseys. I think that's a great look to go with the Mighty Ducks jerseys. Ducks fly together, Jets fly together. Love the team bonding stuff. They're rallying around Mike White. It's been a lot of fun. Can Mike White be a franchise quarterback if he continues to play well? Maybe. Maybe he can. I'd like to see a little bit more of a sample. He started only 4 games, but if he plays well down the stretch here and into the playoffs and potentially wins a playoff game, it'd be a hard time switching that up. Thank you so much for the super chat, Pappy1994. Pappy1994 Chef says, why not put Ty as a fullback and Michael Carter as what? I think probably because Ty isn't really that great of a blocker. Now, if you want to put 2 running backs on the field next to the quarterback in the shotgun, I think you could do that a little bit. But fullbacks really need to be very good blockers, and I think you're better off using a tight end in that role. Ruckert, I think, could do it, and really any of the tight ends on the roster, I think, could do it. But I don't think Ty or Michael Carter are particularly great blocking, so I don't think that's the best usage for them. All gas, no gas. Start Elijah Moore or Bam Knight. I picked up Bam Knight this week in one of my fantasy leagues. I think he's going to have a good day. I would go Bam. J Boy says, I see a big run day. Okay, there you go. Couple more predictions in here. We got 24-21. I agree with Scoop here. 24-20 is what I'm going with. So Joe SS is Michael Carter injury prone 2 years in a row. Michael Carter's not a 3-down back. No, he's not. I think he's a 1B and a good complementary piece. He's probably not a starter. Anthony G says, love MC. He's a great guy for the team, but as the Niners show you, you can plug a lot of good running backs into the system and see the results. V-Man says, Matt, send you a pic of Pats fans accepting reality. Okay, let's see. Let me take a look at what V-Man sent over here. V-Man says, that's where I'd trade Mac too. I hate saying this as a Pats fan, but the Jets are not just a better team at this point. They're better coached. How do we switch places with the Jets? I don't I don't know how you could say better coached. I love Salah. Maybe they have better coordinators. I don't think the Patriots coordinators are all that good, but all right, there you go. I did see this, Ragna. I watched it. The Richard Sherman interviewing Quinn Williams, praising Q a ton to his face. Yeah, that was awesome. I think he deserves the love. Obviously, both big fans of Robert Saleh and what he's been able to do. Prestige says, my friends are still saying the Jets will miss the playoffs and the Vikings will destroy us. I would love to force another big L down their throats. I don't think the Vikings are going to destroy the Jets. Obviously, I'm predicting the Jets to win, but you can't say that you'd be shocked if a 9-2 football team wins a game. So if the Vikings did go out and win today, would that be the most surprising thing to ever happen? No, obviously, but I think it's going to be a good game. I think it'll be a tight game, and I still think the Jets make the playoffs. Do you think excuse me, David says, do you see White throwing over 30 passes today? I think he has to, considering their pass defense. Yeah, I think 30 to 35. I don't think he's going to throw a ton in this game, but I think he'll throw a little bit. I don't expect him to have a repeat performance. I think he'll be good. I don't remember off the top of my head what I predicted for him this week in the Jets Vikings preview. I had 22 at 32, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. I think that would be enough to win the game for the Jets today. Yeah, this one's kinda going under the radar. Nick H asks how, oh, wait, no, sorry, I was looking for a different one, but who are our starting tackles today? Sorry, I was looking for a different one. I would assume it's gonna be, Dwayne Brown and Max Mitchell. That'd be my assumptions. We're gonna see. I'll check Twitter to see if there's been anything different, announced, but I'm gonna assume that's who the one-two punch, is gonna be. What I wanted to get to was Zachary's says, "How big is the Rankins return?" I think that's another one that's gonna go under the radar a little bit. The Jets' interior defensive line is a very big mismatch for this Vikings interior offensive line, and I think we see a big day from these guys, and Rankins coming back is huge. Alex asks, "Is Sauce expected to shadow JJ today?" No, I think they're gonna do it like they did against the Bills and against, the Bengals, where they'll keep each of those guys to their side. So I think it depends on where JJ is gonna line up, and I think they give safety help over the top to whatever side they show up on. I love this question. Illegal Beast Mode says zombie apocalypse. You can pick one player and one Jets YouTuber to survive with. Who are you picking and why? Jets player, Michael Clemens. I think he's a borderline animal to begin with. And I trust him to defend us. And I'm picking Green Bean. With all due respect and with all love to all the Jets content guys, with Green Bean's travel experience around the country, I think he would number one be our go-to guy with where we're going. And I feel like he could live in the elements the best. So those would be my two choices. Great answer. Or great question, rather. Steven says, "Hey, Matt, I think Conklin and Uzama will have a huge game along with James Robinson playing a little pissed off." Oh, I like that. 28-23 Jets. Book it. I think the tight ends will be involved today. I love the Conklin revenge factor. And James Robinson playing with a chip on his shoulder. Let's go. I expect Bam Knight to be the lead back today, but we'll see how they do. Jets Forever says 35 minutes. We're getting close. I'll be on for another 15, 20 minutes or so. Keep getting in any of these questions. Yeah. Hawk says Clemens and Green Bean. LOL. That feels too obvious, right? They feel like the best options. Prestige says breaking news: The Walking Dead surprises the new season starring Matt O'Leary, Michael Clemens, and Green Bean. I would be very, very ineffective in this role. I would immediately die. I'd be the first one to go. But I think my best chances are going with Michael Clemens and Green Bean. All gas, no no gay says it's very funny that zombie apocalypse questions has such obvious answers and Matt hit them both. That's great. Jets forever. I agree with you, man. I think Denzel gets in the end zone. Oh, here we go. We got college football is TCU, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia. There you go. Ohio State does back in. So our guys got to be happy in there. Rusty Rage has got to be pumped. Joe S says, I want to see Bam face a good rush defense, see what he's made of. Yeah. I mean, Bills next week should be able to tell you. Ragnar drops in, says, hit the like button. Yes, don't cost anything. Please leave a like button and subscribe if you haven't already. James says, would love to see a Jets win, but if they lose, do you think they can still make the playoffs? Absolutely. I think they can lose the next two and still make the playoffs. They have other winnable games. I think they could beat uh, Detroit. I think they could beat Jacksonville. I think they could beat Seattle. Those are three right there. That'll get you to 10, and then you just have to take care of business against Miami. Corey Davis playing a bigger role today. Good question. I think he will be a factor. Mike White likes to spread the ball around, so I don't know if he's going to be putting up monster numbers, but I think he'll be effective, especially as a run blocker. I think that's um, his biggest asset to this team. Amen, Michael. He says, "What a nice feeling to not be talking about the draft yet." We'll get there eventually. Believe me, we'll get to free agency, we'll get to the draft, but right now we are focusing on this team in season. Brian says leading scorer today, Greg Zerline. Ooh, a lot of field goals, I guess. V-Man says Mike White breaks Namath's single game passing yard and touchdown record. Okay, so what are you saying? Like 500 yards and 7 touchdowns today? Gary says this is a statement game if they win today to the reporters, NFL, and fans. There you go. 100% right. I think it's a big game. It shows that they belong. I think a lot of these wins have kind of showed that, especially the Buffalo one. By the way, wanted to pull this up. I'm going to minimize here. We have a rooting guide for you. Jets over Vikings, obvious reasons. The 49ers over the Dolphins would be extremely important for the New York Jets this week. The Chiefs over the Bengals would help in the wild card race. The Raiders over the Chargers, same thing. So these are 4 outcomes that Jet fans should be rooting for. The Vikings, the Jets to beat the Vikings, and then the Dolphins, Bengals, and Chargers all losing would be fantastic. Oh my God, Michael, this would be fantastic. Saw's interception, he has to hit the gritty. That would be great. I don't think so. I think 24 should be enough to get it done. The Jets defense, I think, has the ability to clamp them down. Assuming we make it to January, if there's one team I'd like to stay away from the wild card, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, they should be a wild card team anyway, I'd imagine, right? Let's see the NFL playoff picture. Pull this up. Right now, the Chiefs are the 1, the Bills are the 2, Titans 3, Ravens at 7 and 4. Well, both the Ravens and the Bengals are 7 and 4. The Dolphins are the 5 at the moment. If they win, they'll jump back up to the 2. But we are rooting heavily for the 49ers today. I would like to see I think the Jets can hang against the Ravens. I think they can hang against the Titans. They've already beaten the Bills. That'd be a really tough game. Bengals is probably a tough one. But I'd like to see them with a functioning offense. They looked very different in week 3 than what they do now. So there we go. Matt, the NFL doesn't and won't know how to handle it when the Jets keep winning. It's so it's so funny. I love it. Oh, they're showing I have the NFL Network on. I really like these Giants throwback jerseys. I think they look great with the old school helmet with the Giants on the side. That's a nice look for them. Not gonna lie. Barrios to the house today? I don't think so. I would say no. Obviously, it'd be nice if it happened. I'm rooting for all these guys to score, but I think the touchdowns the Jets will get today, I'll say Bam rushing, and then your 2 receiving touchdowns will be 1 to Garrett and 1 to Denzel Mims. Is our D too good for Justin Jefferson to put the team on his back and carry the Vikings to victory? I say yes. He's now, to Justin's credit, I just want to pull up his numbers because he's put up like video game like numbers this entire season. 184, only 48 to Philly and 14 to Detroit. That's shocking. Against Detroit's defense, he only had 14 yards, but 147, 154, 107, 98, 115, 93, only 33 to Dallas and 139. So Dallas has a good D, 33 yards. Philly has a good D, 48. I'm going to say like 5 catches, 70-ish yards, something like that today. When the Jets score 17 plus, aren't they undefeated this season? 18 plus. They scored 17 in the loss to New England. The first one. Dennis says next week's Madden rating updates better not disrespect Mike White after this W. What's his rating right now? I have no idea what his rating is. What's the over under on how many times Barrios will be shot out of a cannon today? He was one time last week. If it's 1.5, I'm taking the over. All right. Yeah, I like two. I think two will be a good one. Oh, hey, NFL Network's predicting a 23-22 Jets win today. Cynthia Freeland, respect. David says, I know he's been hurt, but Corey Davis has become a big afterthought. I think we move on next year. It's possible. It'd free up some money. That wouldn't be the most surprising thing if they moved on. Ragnar says, White Kid works in another first opening TD drive, hits a few more mid deep targets, distributes all over the field again, and increasing Elijah Moore targets. There we go. That sounds believable. I like it. Mike White is 60 overall. Yeah, that's pretty disrespectful. I don't play Madden anymore. I haven't played Madden in a long time. Well, I guess since COVID, but like if we're talking Madden 2007 days, that was my prime, but 60 overall seems pretty disrespectful. Oh, that's cool. Ragnus comes in and says Zach taking part in team's extra work sessions to hone his skills. Samini just said, okay, that's good. I want to see him get as many reps as possible right now. Practice reps, work on his footwork, do all kinds of stuff like that. Hawks says, man, is such a terrible game. It's hard to disagree. David says, I'd let Corey go and keep Lawson. Both can be cut next season. I'd keep Carl Lawson as well. I think he's been actually pretty solid so far this year. He has 5 sacks in 11 games. He started a little bit slow, but from week 4 onward, 4.5 sacks in 8 games. That's a 10 sack pace over a full season. I think he's solid. I'd keep him around. TJ's an OG if he remembers me playing Madden. Maybe in the future we'd bring that back. But I try to do a bunch of different content and it wasn't overly popular. So maybe we'll bring it back, but hey, Matt, what do you think our Super Bowl chances are? John asks. I would say, you just have to get in. I think the AFC, really, I think the NFL is wide open. If they get consistent quarterback play, I think they can do it. Again, tough ask, but is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Probably not. But can they make the playoffs and go on a mini run, win a game, maybe win 2 games? That'd be pretty cool. Will Zach ever wear a Mike effing White shirt to show his support? Actually, I feel like he should do that. I feel like he'd garner a lot of respect from the team and the fan base if he took a picture and was in the Mike effing White stuff, supporting his guy. Why not? Geez, you are an OG. He was an original member of the Mattio Patreon. Geez, big stuff. All gas, no gas. Appreciate it, guys. Hawk says, Old Man was it. When the first introduced the hit stick and they had a mini drills, that game felt unscripted, and the game felt unscripted. Yeah, I loved the mini camp games. Those were so much fun. And what was that? Like the Madden 05, 06, 07 era range. That was great. Really? I did not see that. Dan says, you see the article about JJ being a dud. I think he's been pretty good. Has he been a star? No, he hasn't. One, it takes pass rushers a little bit longer usually. And just because he's not popping as much as Sauce Gardner or what Brees Hall was, um, I don't think that's fair. He has 2.5 sacks in 8 games. I think he's fine. And he's a good run defender. He's been fine. I really have no issue with how JJ's played. Mike White, the game manager, or Mike effing White today? I think it'll be somewhat in between. I said 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, which I think is solid. I I don't think he's going for over 303 scores again, but I hope he does. That'd be fantastic for the Jets. David says NCAA football game was better. Back next year, I believe, which is way better than Madden. Okay, there we go. That's good news. Yeah, as Hawk says, JJ is getting like 22% of snaps. I that's mind-boggling to me. Prestige says, Matt, call me crazy here, but I genuinely think they can win the division. The Jets can win the division. I mean, just keep winning games, man. Who knows? What Buffalo is in first right now at 9-3, so they'd be one game back. Depends on what happens with Miami today. You want Miami to lose because if they lose, they have the same record as the Jets. The Jets would be ahead of them because they have the tiebreaker right now. It's not that crazy. People need to give JJ time. Obviously, Quinnen, more of an interior guy, but look at what happened after he had time to develop. Yeah, I mean, it usually, again, it takes pass rushers a little bit, especially edge players. It's rare that someone comes in and is downright dominant. I think. Wait. Hold on. Do you know why Huff is ineffective? Ineffective? What do you mean ineffective? Bryce Huff has been fantastic, and he's active today. If your question is about him being active, he's playing today. Ineffective. He's one of the more effective players that the Jets have. I think I'm misunderstanding what you're saying here. Dave from New Brunswick joins us. He says he's nervous. It's okay. It's a good nervous, right? A little anticipatory anxiety and never hurt nobody. Ooh, Quinnen Williams, Defensive Player of the Week loading. I like that a lot. I think he has a big game today against a weaker interior. Tigo is here. What's up, Tigo? I looked at the AFC and I don't think 10 wins is enough for the playoffs. I think we need to get to 11 no matter what. What are you thinking? I think 11 makes it easier. 10, I still think you have a shot. It's going to be a tight race down the stretch, man. It really is. It might take 11, though. That would really suck if the Jets went 10-7 and missed the playoffs. I think they still get to 11. Brian says Karlaftis is playing like 70% of the snaps and only has 1.5 sacks. Fair. Hot take, Mike White will have a better TD int ratio than Allen for the rest of the regular season. Keep it rolling, baby. Mike White show continues. How many yards do you think Dalvin Cook will get? I'll say like 75 rushing yards for Dalvin Cook. Over under 3 sacks today. I'll take the over. I think they're somewhere around 5 sacks. Currently, no. Right now, the Chargers have the tiebreaker because they have the better win-loss tie percentage in the AFC. The Jets have played one less game against the AFC, so eventually it will even out for amount of games played. But currently, no, they don't. Good point. 10-6 is better than 10-7, and the Jets missed the playoffs with that record. Inactive here. No, he's active today. Yeah, he's activated today. Maybe you heard when he was inactive earlier in the year. That didn't make any sense when he was inactive for the first few weeks of the year, but yeah, he's been really good. Well, we just have to win the division and none of this crap will matter. Amen. Good point. Ryan says, O-line, who do you want to be our starters next year at each position? I think left tackle could use an upgrade, maybe in the draft. That's where you improve at left tackle. And then I think you go Lakin at left guard, bring back McGovern, right guard, AVT, right tackle, potentially Max Mitchell. I think that's going to be the Jets starting line. Yep. Stoney says MC is out. He is inactive today. Apparently not. So Dan asked Fant getting a showing today. According to Iron Eagle on CBS, it's Max Mitchell starting at right tackle today. John asked if we went to the playoffs in 2015, do you think we could have won the Super Bowl with that offense? Sad part is yes. I think that team could have went on a run. They would have gotten the Bengals in the first round of the playoffs. Bengals started oh my God, what's his name? the old Alabama quarterback, AJ McCarron. And then he would have went to Denver, right? Yes, he would have went to Denver with Peyton Manning and his noodle arm. Could have won that game. I think yes. I think they could have went on a legit run. Oh boy, here we go. Here come the Becton loves. Becton is going to win the left tackle job. Becton is the franchise left tackle. I like Mekhi Becton a lot, but after missing 2 straight years, I don't think you could rely on him um, as a starter. Maybe he is, but I don't think you can go into next year hoping that he is going to be your starting at left tackle. You got Michael Irvin is picking the Vikings. Kurt Warner is picking the Vikings. Mooch is picking the Vikings. Rich Eisen is talking right now, but you got to assume Rich Eisen's going to take the Jets here. He's still talking. Maybe not. He's going to pick the Jets. Come on. We know it. Talking with Tigo, I agree with this. He goes, Fant doesn't play another snap for the Jets. Unless there's an injury, he's not getting on the field. I think it's Max Mitchell. Yep, there we go. Rich Eisen's picking the Jets. He's a real one. Prestige says, I'd love for a comeback story with Mekhi. I don't think it'll happen, but if it happens, sign me up. I'll gladly accept that. I agree. I really like Mekhi. When he was on the field as a rookie, he was really, really good. It's just the injuries. It's 2 straight years. I gave him the benefit of the doubt this past year. I think, I didn't want to take an offensive tackle that early because I didn't think it made sense for this team. And look, they didn't draft one, and things have worked out with the offensive line. Offensive line's been fine, but twice in a row, that's becoming a little bit of a pattern. If Mike White goes for 500 for the rest of the year and we make the playoffs, you roll with him in the future? Absolutely, you do. If he's throwing for 500 yards a game, goes 500. Oh, okay. That makes it a little bit more complicated. I think you go into it with like a battle between Mike White and Zach Wilson and see what happens there. Yeah, I agree. Mekhi was one of the few bright spots of 2020. Can't wait for the entire CBS panel to choose the Vikings and doubt the Jets as usual. All right, that's going to do it for me on this pregame. I'm going to hop off, get myself ready. Jets, Vikings, 1 p.m. Huge game. Let's get a W today for the New York Jets. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. Please subscribe if you're new. Thanks for hanging out. Post-game video coming out later. Talk to you guys next time. Let's go, Jets, baby.